Hello everyone. Let me introduce myself first. I am Mary Jo Balacanao, a member from the group 2. Let me start by giving you some background information on the history of education in the Philippines. Before the Philippines attained complete independence in 1946, the country's education system was patterned on the system of Spain and the United States. However, after independence, the country's educational system has constantly undergone reform. So that is some information with regards to the history of education in the Philippines back then. So turning our formal attention now to the education during the pre-colonial period. So education was informal and unstructured. So there was no formal education. So it says here that learning was merely through just imitation and practice. So most children were provided with solely vocational training po lamang. That is the education during the pre-colonial period. So let's move on to the education during the Spanish era. It says here that education was formal and organized. It was authoritarian in nature. Tribal tutors of the pre-Spanish period were replaced by Spanish missionaries. So it says here that formal education was brought to the Philippines by the Spaniards, which was conducted mostly by religious orders. So, upon learning the local languages and writing system, they began teaching Christianity, so the Spanish language and the Spanish culture. So that's all about the education during the pre-colonial period and during the Spanish era.
Good day everyone, my name is Marlo Baybayan and I will be discussing about the Educational Decree of 1863. This law gave Filipinos a complete system of education. From elementary to the collegiate level, the law provided for the establishment of the elementary schools in all municipalities in the country. There is no educational decree of 1863 in the Philippines. However, there was an educational decree issued by the Spanish colonial government, which aimed to establish a system of public education in the country. The decree mandated the creation of primary schools in every town, the establishment of a normal school to train teachers, and the provision of scholarships for bright students to study in Europe. The implementation of the decree was slow and uneven due to various factors, such as lack of resources, resistance from local elites, and the outbreak of the Philippine Revolution. However, it laid the foundation for the modern educational system in the Philippines and contributed to the development of a literate and educated population. Education during the American regime 1898 to 1946. The Americans promoted democratic ideals and the democratic way of life. The students maintained by the Spaniards for more than 3 centuries were closed but were opened on August 29, 1898 by the Secretary of the Interior. A system of free and compulsory elementary education was established by the Malolos Constitution. The American colonial government in the Philippines also made significant changes to the educational system. In 1901, the Philippine Commission established the Department of Public Instruction, which was later named as the Department of Education. One of the most significant educational reforms during the American period was the introduction of the Thomasites, a group of American teachers who were sent to the Philippines to teach in public schools. The Thomasites helped improve the quality of education in the country and train Filipino teachers to become more proficient in English and modern teaching methods. It paved the way for the development of a more modern and comprehensive educational system that continues to evolve to this day. So that's all. Thank you. And now let's hear from other reporters.
Good day, everyone. I am Marlon Jed Arbarolo, and today I will be discussing the Commonwealth period 1935 to 1942. These are the laws implemented during the Commonwealth period. The Commonwealth period 1935 to 1942. Free education in public schools was provided all over the country in accordance with the 1935 Constitution. Vocational education and some household activities like sewing, cooking, and farming were also given importance. Education also emphasized nationalism, so the students were taught about the life of the Filipino heroes. Vocational education and some household activities were also given importance. Good manners and discipline were also taught to the students. The Institute of Private Education was established in order to observe private schools. The Commonwealth period was an important time in Philippine history, with the transition from U.S. colonial rule to the establishment of the Philippine Commonwealth occurring in 1935. During this period, the newly established Philippine government adopted and implemented a constitution and other laws for the new democratic system. The Commonwealth period also saw improvements in economic, educational, and health sectors, as well as the beginning of a nationalistic movement among the Filipino people. Unfortunately, the period was ultimately cut short by the Japanese invasion and occupation of the Philippines in 1942. Next is the Japanese occupation. The Japanese occupation aims of education during the Japanese occupation. Make the people understand the position of the Philippines as a member of the East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. Eradication of the idea of reliance upon Western states, particularly the US and Great Britain. Fostering a new Filipino culture based on the consciousness of the people as Orientals, elevating the moral of the people, giving up overemphasis on materialism. Diffusion of elementary education and promotion of vocation education. Striving for diffusion of the Japanese language in the Philippines and the termination of the use of English in schools. Developing in people the love of labor. The Japanese occupation in the Philippines lasted from 1942 to 1945 and is remembered as one of the darkest chapters in the Philippine history. During this time, the Japanese army brutally occupied the Philippine Islands, subjecting people to forced labor, depriving them of basic necessities, murdering and torturing many people, and committing other war crimes. In addition, the Japanese military also implemented various policies such as curfew, food rationing, and censorship. The occupation finally ended in 1945 when the U.S. forces recaptured the islands from the Japanese. Post-colonial Philippines. Education aimed at full of realization of democratic ideals and way of life. The civil service eligibility of teachers was made permanent pursuant to RA 1079 in June 15, 1954. A daily flag ceremony was made compulsory in all schools, including the singing of national anthem pursuant to RA 1265, approved on June 11, 1955. Curricular offerings in all schools and the life, the works, and writings of Jose Rizal, especially the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, shall be included in all levels. Elementary education was nationalized and matriculation fees were abolished. Magna Carta for teachers was passed into law by virtue of RA 4670. The post-colonial Philippines has seen rapid and significant changes. Following the end of World War II, the Philippines quickly transitioned into a sovereign and independent nation. Since then, the country has experienced a period of significant economic growth, democratic stability, and advances in socio-cultural development. This period also saw the introduction of various reforms and the emergence of the Filipino nation as a global player and the growth of the Filipino diaspora. These events have contributed to the shaping of the post-colonial Philippines as it is seen today. That's all my report. The next is the fundamental aims of education in the 1973 Constitution that will be discussed by my other groupmates.
The fundamental aims of education in the 1973 Constitution. First is foster love of country, teach the duties of citizenship, develop moral character, self-discipline, and scientific, technological, and vocational efficiency. Dito, during the 1973 Constitution, binigyan daw ng halaga yung pag-develop ng pagmamahal natin sa ating bayan. Gaya na rin yung pagbibigay ng impormasyon patungkol sa ating pagiging mamamayan o tungkol sa ating mga karapatan. At kasabay na rin dito yung pag-develop ng ating kakayahan at mga teknolohiya na makatutulong sa ating pamumuhay. Next is other developments. First, integration of values in all learning areas. Emphasis on mastery learning. YDT and CAT introduced as new course media of instruction. Bilingual education policy mandates the use of English and Filipino separately as media of instruction in school. So as we all know, English and Filipino are our official language in the Philippines. Next is Education Act of 1982 created the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sport na kalaunan ay binago ni President Corazon C. Aquino into Department of Education, Culture, and Sport. Creation of the Board for Professional Teacher composed of 5 under PRC. Then, replacement of PBET or Professional Board Examination for Teachers by LET or the Licensure Examination for Teachers. Transfer of authority of administering the LET for CSC and DEX to the Board of Professional Teachers under PRC. Next is takeaways. Education in school are a function and a creation of society. Goals in education reflect what society considered as necessary for survival, stability, and convenience. A study of history of education in the world and in the Philippines help us see what societies in the past considered important and enables us to appreciate the present, which is a product of the past. Schools are agents of socialization. They prepare individuals for their varied roles in society. So, sinasabi rito na sa pamamagitan ng lipunan o isa ang edukasyon sa mga elements ng isang lipunan at nakatutulong din ang edukasyon upang mas maging maunlad ang isang lipunan. At binibigyan tayo ng pagkakataon ng edukasyon na hubugin ang ating sarili. At sa pamamagitan nito ay maaari nating itaguyod ang ating pamilya, ang ating hinaharap, at magkaroon ng ambag sa pag-unlad ng ating bansa. Yun lamang po.